You're 19. Your boots are full of black sand and you can't move your legs. The beach in front of you is on fire. Behind you, a landing craft burns down to its ribs. 10 minutes ago, nobody was shooting. Now the whole mountain is. You look down. Your hand is shaking. You don't remember it starting. A voice you don't recognize is screaming for a corpsman somewhere to your right. 6 hours ago, this wasn't your life yet. 6 hours earlier, you're just a kid from Ohio, lying in the dark belly of a troop transport, listening to 500 men breathe in the dark. You've got a letter in your breast pocket, half written, to your mother. You never finish the last line. You're not sure how to. Every time you pick up the pencil, the words feel too small for what you actually want to say. Next to you, a corporal named Dutch is cleaning his rifle for the third time tonight, even though it was already cleaned the first time. He's 22, and to you that makes him ancient. He's the closest thing you have to a friend out here 3 months together, boot camp to troop ship, and he still laughs at your jokes. Even the bad ones. You've heard the officers call this island small. 8 square miles of volcanic rock, barely big enough to matter on a map. You've also heard them say, in low voices when they think nobody's listening, that it might be the worst one yet. Somewhere below deck, a chaplain is saying something quiet to a row of men with their heads bowed. You don't go. You've got your own way of getting ready. You just keep touching the letter in your pocket, like it's a charm that might actually work. At Aero 530, they call your name for the 4th wave. Your stomach drops the way it did the first time you jumped off a high dive as a kid, except there's no water waiting to catch you this time. You climb down the cargo net into the landing craft, and the ocean swallows the sound of your own heartbeat. Dutch is 3 boats over. You watch him disappear into the smoke ahead, and for one strange second, you wonder if you'll ever see him again. Nobody's shooting yet. That's the part nobody warned you about the quiet. The ramp drops. The sand doesn't feel like sand. It feels like wading through wet concrete, sucking at your boots with every single step, stealing the strength right out of your legs. You've heard men joke about this before you landed, how the volcanic ash on Iwo Jima is soft enough to bury a man's ankle before he's fired a single shot. Now you understand what they meant. Tanks are stuck up to their bellies, engines screaming uselessly. Stretcher bearers are crawling instead of running, dragging the wounded through sand that refuses to let anyone move fast. For 20 minutes, there's nothing. No gunfire, no shouting from the ridgeline. Just thousands of Marines pouring onto a narrow beach, packed shoulder to shoulder. Boxes of ammunition and crates of rations stacking up in uneven rows behind them like nobody expects trouble. You find Dutch again near a wrecked Amtrak, half buried in the ash. He grins like you just met at a dance hall back home, not on a beach at the edge of the world. Told you we'd make it, he says, wiping sand off his rifle stock. You almost believe him. Somewhere behind you, someone's handing out water from a 5-gallon can, passed hand to hand down the line. You take a swig. It's warm, not from the sun. The ground itself is warm here, warm in a way that unsettles you more than the heat should. Steam curls up out of cracks in the black rock, like the island is breathing beneath your boots. Nobody stops to explain it. Nobody has time to. You dig in where you can, though digging is a losing fight against sand that pours back into the hole nearly as fast as you scoop it out. Every foxhole here is a slow surrender. Dutch pulls a photo from his shirt pocket. His little sister, maybe 8 years old, gap-toothed, squinting at whoever held the camera. She writes me every week, he says. Doesn't matter if I write back or not. She just keeps sending them. You almost laugh. Then you remember your own letter, still unfinished, still waiting for one last line you haven't found yet. That's when the beach stops being quiet. The first shell lands 200 yards to your left, then another. Closer, you realize, all at once, why the Japanese let you land unopposed. They weren't beaten. They were waiting. Mount Surabaki is a wall of stone in front of you, and every gun on it seems to know exactly where you're standing. This isn't scattered fire. It's aimed, preset, practiced for months before you ever set foot here. Men are running, but running here means crawling through sand that grabs at your knees like it wants to keep you. Someone screams Corpsman somewhere to your right, and the word gets swallowed almost instantly by the next explosion. You lose sight of Dutch. Your body moves before your mind catches up flat against the ash, rifle useless in your hands, watching the world turn to smoke and noise and a heat that doesn't feel like the sun anymore. The letter in your pocket presses against your chest with every breath you take. You think, I never finished it. You think about your mother reading whatever you managed to write, wondering if the last line matters at all now. Then the ground in front of you erupts. The blast throws sand into your mouth, your eyes, your ears. For a second, you can't hear anything but a high, thin ring, like the world has gone underwater. When it clears, you're still alive. You don't understand how. 10 feet away, a Marine you don't know is being dragged toward the water's edge by two others, blood soaking through his sleeve. He's still talking, still trying to make a joke about it, though nobody's laughing. You crawl toward the wrecked Amtrak, the only cover left standing, and that's where you find Dutch pinned low, unhurt, but shaking the way you were an hour ago. His rifle is still in his hands. His eyes are wide in a way you've never seen on him before. Neither of you says anything for a long moment. There's nothing to say that makes any of this smaller. Around you, the noise keeps rolling in waves, a lull, then a crash, then another lull. The barrage doesn't stop all at once. It thins, stretches out, becomes occasional instead of constant, the way a storm breaks slowly into scattered rain instead of ending clean. You realize you're gripping Dutch's sleeve. He's gripping yours. Neither of you lets go for a while. Somewhere above you, the mountain is still watching. It will be watching for days, maybe weeks. But for now, in this one narrow slice of sand, you are both still breathing, still here, still yourselves. You reach into your pocket. The letter is torn at one corner, damp with seawater, but it's there. You don't know yet if it will ever reach Ohio, but you know, for the first time all day, that you're going to try to finish it. That night, dug into a shallow hole that fills with warm groundwater no matter how many times you bail it out. You finally write the last line of your letter by the light of a hooded flashlight. Tell them I'm all right today. Tell them I'm thinking about home. You don't know if today is a promise you can keep tomorrow. Nobody here does. Around you, the island hums with distant fire, flares drifting slow and orange over Suribachi. Dutch is a few feet away, cleaning his rifle again, the same nervous ritual, the same 3 unnecessary passes with the rag. He shows you the photo of his sister one more time before he closes his eyes, like it's the last thing he wants to see before sleep takes him. You never learn what happens to either of you beyond this night. The record simply says the fighting for this island lasted 36 days, one of the longest and costliest of the entire Pacific War. It doesn't say what happened to one 19-year-old or one corporal from nowhere in particular after the sun came up again over the black sand. What you do know is this: the letter left your hands. passed down a chain of mail sacks and ships and hands you'll never see. Whether it ever reached hers, whether your mother ever read that last unfinished line made whole, you'll never find out. Some things about this day stay open forever, folded into a pocket carried by strangers, never quite finished. Nearly 7,000 Americans never left this island. Thousands more carried it with them for the rest of their lives, in ways no letter home could ever fully explain. He was one soldier, on one beach, in one war that stretched across the whole world, indifferent to how young he was or how much he still had left to say. Tomorrow, you'll stand on the other side of that same war inside the body of a German soldier, in a cold and silent forest, waiting for a battle of his own.